Hi, sorry for the slight delay. I've always got to make sure the streaming is actually up and going. So this time we're going to look at blinks. And there's different ways to do blinks. And we're going to look at two ways in particular. One is just taking the webcam and using it to keep track of eyes. And the second way is using the auto blink behavior. It should be cool. Okay, so where we left things off in the last episode was we have a Wookie. So let's put the camera input back on for a moment. Now when I put the camera on, sometimes the reflection of the glasses gets in the way. So I'm going to take them off for a little bit. So if I close my eyes, is she working? Camera input. The eyes are moving around, but it's having a little bit. Oh, maybe I just click reset pose. See, it's having a little bit of trouble, and maybe it's because I've fiddled some of these strengths. So we've got move eyes together, eyebrows. Oh, I forgot to turn the eyebrows back on. Move to Photoshop. Make the eyebrows appear. Go back to character animator. Preparing. Where's the other one? So we've got, I'd set the eyelid strength to 0. Okay, so I'm going to, forgot about that, got the eyelid strength. You might notice it's trying to blink. And you may be noticing it does blink sometimes, but it's not, and when it goes blink, it gets a straight line, but it's not that reliable. It's also dependent upon whether I'm blinking or not. And so what I tend to do personally is there's a behavior on the puppet called auto blink. And I tend to then, with all these sorts of little bits of problems, put these back on so I can actually see what's going on. Eyelid strength. I'm going to crank the eyelid strength down just so I get a little bit of movement and not too much. And then I'm going to add a new behavior. So there's a few ways you can do behavior. So you've got to go into the rig mode, and you can either click up here above and then there's a plus button here somewhere or other. Oh, there it is. So you can click on that and say auto blink, or you can come over here into the properties and click over here. It does exactly the same thing. I'm going to add auto blink. Now what auto blink does is, these are alphabetical. You've got values like how many blinks per minute you like. And so I'm going to set that to actually I'm going to set it to 43 so it goes crazy. How long do you want him to blink for? Do you want it very random or more predictable? And this thing is just useful for debugging. You can see that it's picked up the right blink and the left blink layers. So there's 2 blink layers that it's going to fire. So we go into record mode now. He's blinking even though my eyes are staying open. And that will work even with the camera input off. And so I can use the mouse to look around and he'll still blink. And that's one of the reasons I find it useful. I can use the mouse for high precision movements of the eyes, and he blinks. But that's way too high. He's blinking far too often. So I'm going to come back before he drives me crazy. I'm going to set it to say 20, and yeah, that'll do. So that was just a quick one, but that's so you can set the eyelid strength. I tend to not use the eyelid strength for blinks. It can get funny distortion. You can't actually see it so well in this one, but you get this funny it's almost like an M shaped or a seagull shaped, where it's the little bit dips down in the middle when you're using too much of the distortion for moving eye movements, particularly if the eyelids are not independent. Like if I take the independence off, oops, if I take the independence off, which is little crowns there, and so I'm going back to the eyelid strength. Okay, if we go to record, yeah, I don't know what my point was going to be, but I just generally find that, yeah, I was trying to indicate the distortion, but it's just not, doesn't come out very clear on this puppet, because you can get these eyes that almost close. Eye gaze, smoothing, face. Let's crank it up to something high. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you can see that very well, but see the line is not straight anymore. It's got a little bit distorted. So that distortion I can creep in. And so that's one of the problems I've found with too much eyelid strength. And so I frequently just crank it way down, or even set it to 0, just to avoid that distortion creeping in there. And that's why the blink layers are really useful. And it's also why auto blink then is very useful, because it doesn't rely on my eyes. Cool. This is just going to be a quick one. And, oops, here we go. So that was just a quick one on blinking. Hopefully you found that useful. So I just, auto blink is almost like a no-brainer to me. I just use it all the time. Even I use it here. Anyway, see you next time.